topic that has been given to us to talk today is on path to profits. And today we have three eminent people on the podium who understand technology, who understand the power of communication. But what I want to briefly touch upon is, as a user like you, as a person from the organization, how IT and information technology has evolved in India and what way it is bringing value to the enterprises. I was fortunate to work with the large corporates and also with the startup companies. So now coming back to the what IT can do, to my mind, it has evolved in three phases. Like what Dr. Uma Ganesh talked about, that it is a very mystic one. When I was in IIT, we are allowed to visit IBM computer only twice in the period of 5 years. It was a black box. So from there, it moved to the IT professionals who understood the power of technology, who were fortunate to know about it, and they became a close group. Then the second phase has started. Then the IT has grown bigger. Then the rest of the enterprise, as we see, when I was working with Unilever Group, when I was working with Glaxo, I could see that the other people, the other functions of the organization understood the power of IT and it's moved out of the EDP, as it used to be called in those days, to a broad spectrum enterprise. Then the words like ERP and others have started coming in. People started using it. That has really exploded the use of IT. And people started having applications like your banking solutions, manufacturing solutions, supply chain solutions. Now, after 3 decades of my experience, I feel very excited. I feel that we are very, very fortunate to be associated with IT, information technology. That's because now I see a third wave happening. The third wave, as triggered by your social media, third wave as triggered by the cloud computing, third wave as triggered by 3G and 4G technologies, are really now bringing this IT into an inclusive development. This is what is bringing the organizations out of their box. Like earlier, IT was in a part of the professionals to an organization. Now, organizations are going to move and reach to the entire ecosystem, whether it is the customers, whether it is the vendors, whether they are students, whether they are your father, your mother, anyone. So now, the new revolution is taking place. Now the new generation, for whom that we have to service our products and services, need to utilize the new technologies, information technologies that are available. And the best part of the whole story is that now the technology has become a great leveler. Everyone can use technology. Like what television can be used by everyone, like a mobile can be used by everyone. The power of information technology in the future world can be used by everyone, which means a fantastic use for a small and medium enterprises such as yours. All of us understand that if you are running a company, you know that what profit means, that you have to cut the costs and you have to increase the revenues. And already Dr. Uma Ganesh talked about the demystification. We all get information overload. My son tells me more about IT than what I ever learned in the 30 years. And your friends confuse you with the latest technologies and gadgets. Where does it lead you? You are running an organization. You are not in a gaming world. So how do we manage it? So how do we declutter this whole chaos? So I think it's very important for any enterprise to stay focused and get into the basics, because basics never change. So the basics is that what is the profit? Profit is I reduce my cost, I increase my revenue. So how will IT help me in getting my revenues in the new world? So IT is the fastest and cheapest way to reach to your potential as well as existing customers. There is no other medium. Coming from advertising business, I know that, and all of you also are aware how a song like a Kolavari D became a globally popular song in a matter of 7 days. So that is the power of technology that is available to us in every which way. So it's the cheapest way to reach to your customer. And equally important, as the world is becoming a knowledge society, people are aware People know what your competition is offering, what you are offering. So you need to give a better customer service. To do that, the IT again will help you in getting the right feedback, right engagement, and tailor the requirements faster way. Reducing costs we all know, because this is how IT has started. So obviously that we have to offload everything to the IT. That all of us understand. But what we need to understand, equally important, is some of the functions. By using effective use of IT, you don't have to do it yourself. Today the world moves to the collaborative enterprise. So you have to know, if you are in a business of making a welding rods, you are in the business of doing an education, you are in the business of manufacturing tires, or whatever the things that you are in. You need to stick to your core business functions, and the rest of the business functions you can outsource, and by using the power of information technology, you can have the control, you can have the governance, and also you can reduce your costs. Then, the corollary to the thought is that your MIS system. This is where the challenge happens to most of the small and medium enterprises. What information I can expect from IT? How will it be really relevant to my industry? The other day I was talking to one educationist who is doing a 500 crore business. It's a very well established enterprise, and I was aghast that the amount of IT uses is next to nothing. He only uses his mobile to be in touch with his senior people who give information. Now in this today's day and age, that's not good enough on relying only on some talk by some people. So you need to have a very effective, simple MIS that will help you govern, control the things. So that's where IT will help you. So coming to the what technologies, there are zillions of technologies. Here again, the observation that what I have my industry experience is any technology product may have hundreds of features, but typically a customer or a consumer uses only 2 or 3 of them. So like for example, in a TV, you use only 3 buttons. In a computer, normally you use only 2 or 3 functions. So in the business, what is most important for a small and medium enterprises, and you must use, are your web and email, the obvious this ones. You have to use ERPs. ERPs you don't have to build yourself. There are already service software as service tools available. You can use them, and see that all your documents are properly cataloged and available in a controlled manner. All these things today, the good news is that it doesn't cost you much. You have to be only aware of your security and your governance issues, and those are also very easy for you to understand if you devote some time. And using that, these are the 3 basic things that you should do. So just to sum up, don't get carried away by the hype. IT has got a lot of goodies about it, but then you see that what is relevant to us. But at the same time, don't get frightened, don't shy away. IT is all pervasive. The more you use IT, the better it is for you. You start small, don't be over ambitious. Don't set your goals too unrealistic. Start with a small one, get comfortable, keep on increasing. But you must invest. This is the one thing that I want to tell you, that is our experience. We are in the shipbuilding in the last this ones. Shipbuilding is a farthest from the IT. But we could successfully use IT so that for a greenfield project, we could control all the designs, all the materials in a remote location in Gujarat, thanks to IT. Otherwise, it would have been next to impossible. So that's the power of IT all of you can get. So you must invest in the IT. And finally, don't get carried away again by your son or by your IT geek. Talk business language. Let him talk in your language. What is the deliverable and how is it measurable, and you'll get the benefit of it. So the technology is a level playing field, my friends, and it's going to make it very cost-effective solution, and all of you must embrace it irrespective of what function, what field you are working in. Thank you.